Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Here, we embrace true femininity. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update.
It was a typical Saturday evening in the quiet suburban neighborhood of Willow Creek. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the perfectly manicured lawns and the charming houses that lined the streets. The houses were all decorated with festive Christmas lights, ready to welcome the holiday season. But little did the residents know, one particular house was about to host a party like no other. The house in question belonged to the Swanson family, a well-respected and well-to-do family in the neighborhood. They were known for throwing elegant and sophisticated parties, attended by the elite of the neighborhood. So when the Swanson family decided to throw a house party, everyone was excited to see what it would be like. As the clock struck 7 p.m., the guests started arriving at the Swanson house. The front lawn was adorned with string lights and a red carpet leading up to the entrance. The sound of laughter and music filled the air, and the smell of delicious food wafted through the house. Everyone was dressed to the nines, ready to have a good time. Inside the house, the living room was transformed into a dance floor. The lights were dimmed, and a disco ball hung from the ceiling, casting colorful patterns on the walls. The bar was fully stocked with all kinds of drinks, and waiters were circulating with trays of appetizers. The atmosphere was lively and buzzing with excitement. The mastermind behind the party was none other than the Swanson children, 16-year-old twins, Olivia and Ethan. They had begged their parents to let them throw a party, promising that it would be a small and classy affair. But as the night went on, it became apparent that this was no ordinary house party. It started with a few guests arriving in elaborate and outlandish costumes. Some were dressed as superheroes, others as famous movie characters, and a few even came dressed as animals. Everyone was a little taken aback, but they shrugged it off, thinking it was just a small prank by the kids. But as more and more guests arrived, it became clear that this was not a joke. The Swanson house had been transformed into a drag party. The front lawn was filled with drag queens and kings, strutting their stuff in their extravagant costumes and high heels. The living room had become a runway, and everyone was taking turns to show off their outfits, dancing and lip-syncing to popular songs. At first, the guests were a bit shocked and hesitant to participate. But as the night went on, the music got louder, the drinks flowed freely, and inhibitions were thrown out the window. Soon, everyone was joining in the fun, dressed in their own creative and sometimes outrageous outfits. Evelyn, a middle-aged woman and a regular at the Swanson parties, was dressed as a flamboyant peacock, with a feather boa and a sparkling tiara. She had always wanted to try drag, but never had the courage to do it. There was something liberating about being able to dress up and be someone else for a night. The Swanson parents, who had been a little hesitant about the party at first, were now having the time of their lives. They had never seen their kids so happy and carefree. They watched with amusement as their usually reserved and proper guests danced and sang along to RuPaul's Supermodel, You Better Work. The highlight of the night was when Ethan and Olivia came out in full drag. Ethan, who had always been fascinated by drag culture, had gone all out with his costume and makeup. He was unrecognizable, with a blonde wig, a sequin dress, and sky-high heels. Olivia, on the other hand, was channeling her inner diva, with a long curly wig, dramatic makeup, and a thigh-high slit dress. The twins' performance, lip-syncing to Lady Gaga's Born This Way, brought the house down and received a standing ovation from the guests. As the night drew to a close, the guests were sad to see the party come to an end. But they were also grateful to the Swanson children for giving them a night they would never forget. In that one evening, the quiet and reserved neighborhood had been transformed into a vibrant and colorful community, brought together by the power of drag. The next day, the Swanson house was abuzz with talk of the party. Some neighbors were scandalized by the turn of events, but most were envious that they had not been invited. The party had definitely made its mark on the neighborhood, and the Swanson kids were now known as the talk of the town. The drag party had not only brought the neighborhood together but had also taught everyone a valuable lesson: to let go of their preconceived notions and embrace their true selves. It was a reminder that we all have different sides to ourselves, and sometimes it takes a little fun and creativity to bring them out. From that night on, the Swanson house was no longer seen as a symbol of elegance and sophistication, but of acceptance and inclusivity. The drag party had turned into a tradition, with the Swanson kids hosting one every year. It had become a much-awaited event, with everyone eagerly anticipating what the theme would be each time. And so, a simple house party turned into a celebration of diversity and self-expression, leaving a lasting impact on everyone who attended. Who knew that a quiet suburban neighborhood could be so full of surprises? As the saying goes, you can't judge a book by its cover, and the Swanson house was a perfect example of that.